This is my favorite person in the whole world, my grandpa. I grew up in a joint family in India, and I was super close to my grandfather. He was more than a grandparent to us. He was my teacher, my confidant, my advisor, and so much more. At the same time, we were more than his family. My father and uncle were his caregivers. My mother and aunt, his nutritionists. My brother and I, his in charge of his medications and being his sweet police. He lived with diabetes for 40 long years. This is the only way I have ever experienced healthcare. And 25 years later, this continues to shape my belief in the importance of community in healthcare. Hello, I am Veda, and for the past year and a half, I have been working with the type 1 diabetes community in India, exploring this very belief. Type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune chronic condition which generally affects youngsters between the ages of 13 to 17. There's no cure to this, and the only treatment is effective care management. To this community, the current COVID 19 crisis is a lot scarier because they have to experience it with a comorbidity. Unfortunately, the Indian public healthcare system too does very little to support people with type 1 diabetes. It is a very tiny system compared to the ever increasing population of the country. And India is home to over half the children with type 1 diabetes in the world, with this number increasing at a steady rate of 3 to 5% every year. Living with type 1 diabetes means having a set routine to get enough exercise, rest, constantly keeping an eye on your food intake, monitoring your sugar and insulin levels, and having a trustworthy network for medical assistance. For example, for Manali, she finds it difficult to cope with her diabetes management as she's transitioning from the pediatric care system to the adult one, where she's suddenly put in charge of her own decisions. For Neil, who's about to move cities for a new exciting job opportunity, is constantly worried about the kind of access to insulin he will have once he moves. Arushi, who's an all rounder, struggles with managing and explaining her type 1 diabetes management to her coach every time that she takes up a new sport or an activity. And for Raj and his family, moving cities and houses came with the added struggle of looking for a new trustworthy diabetologist closer to their new home. While all these challenges seem small, they have a lasting impact on the lives of these adults who already have a plate full of responsibilities even outside their chronic condition. Remember being a teenager? Now imagine being one with type 1 diabetes. I noticed that one of the common factors amongst all their challenges was their struggle in coping with different transitions in their lives. Example, moving to a new city like Neil. People struggled with access to infrastructure that would support them with the changes in their care management. I decided to further probe into this. I started having conversations with people from the community. Once I had built a relationship and trust with them, I began conducting one on one interviews and weekend meetups. I learned a lot about the journeys, the challenges of all these different people, and found a few individuals who were designers and engineers. They were passionate about building type 1 diabetes awareness. I thought this was a great opportunity, and I decided to introduce them to each other. They joined forces to become my type 1 design team, who have helped me build insights, informed the processes with their lived experiences, and are truly the backbone of this project. With their help, I conducted research using participatory research methods like journey maps, vision boarding, insight mapping, and future mappings. People shared their personal stories, their struggles with stigmas, and their experiences in coping with type 1 management. With one on one interviews from subject matter experts like doctors, diabetes educators, and group interviews with families, I learned more about the social implications and stressors for changes while dealing with care management for a chronic condition. I decided that my thesis would focus on answering the question, how might we facilitate a smooth transition between care systems for young adults with type 1 diabetes in India? My research showed me that every family had a different story and a different struggle, but their ability to come together to build their independent mechanisms to cope with challenges was a strong, consistent driving force in their journeys. People had created diet charts, insulin tracking apps, diabetes awareness sessions, and all other genius solutions just by themselves. With this realization, my role shifted from a designer to a facilitator. I no longer needed to build anything by myself. My thesis pivoted from a product based design intervention to a leadership based approach. When people mark their 100th level of sugar, they often refer to it as catching a unicorn. This is a symbol of hope and inspiration for my community. Hence, my thesis is called 100 on 100, and it a hint to their success and celebration. It was important to me that the identity was relatable to the community and it felt grounded in their reality. So, this derives its look and feel from this very reference. The colors denote hope and magic, much like a unicorn. Today, 100 on 100 aims to build agency within the community so that they can come together to share their existing tools and mechanisms or build new ones with each other that enable transitions in care management easier. A space where they can continue to create their own solutions, but in a shared and collaborative way, so that more people from within the community may benefit from it. So, with my Type 1 design team, I conducted a co creation workshop with young adults and their families. This was a safe space for the community and the design team to come together and brainstorm solutions over their challenges through 5 primary themes like do's and don'ts, guides, list making, what to let go, and what to watch out for. The experiences, stories, and solutions that come out of this workshop, as well as the framework to conduct more such, live live on a website with free access to the community. This was designed by me, but curated by them. We envisioned this as an opportunity to bring together diverse people, for them to use and try out our intervention. This will also be eventually used by diabetes educators in their practices. The success of this intervention is measured by a number of things, like how well do community members contribute towards building solutions, and do they find value in ideas shared by other members. On a quantitative level, straightforward numbers, like workshop participants, uploads and downloads of resources, the number of visits the website has had for facilitation have been determining our detailed measurement and evaluation plans. We aim for these workshop guidelines and co-creation sessions to be used and replicated to build community-driven tools and mechanisms. Project 100 on 100 now also has a page on Instagram, which I hope will become a place for people to engage, interact, and share community resources. It is also a touch point for more people to become a part of this group. The community has complete ownership to this page and a page to build a safe haven for Type 1. The current COVID-19 crisis in India throws light on how underprepared and overwhelmed our healthcare infrastructure is. My community has been fighting this bravely, and I hope with my thesis and my work provides them with the support, connection, love, and faith in community-centered design so that they can continue to thrive together, come what may. The past year has felt both like a punch in the gut and hot cocoa on a snowy day. But I'm grateful for all the learning experiences, and I'm wiser for them. Some of my truly valuable learnings were active listening, which enabled me to see the solution emerge from within the community. I learned that trust is the key. I have never met any of these people in person, but the relationships and the trust that I built with them helped them share an intimate part of lives with me. I witnessed a miraculous and hopeful readiness amongst my community to help each other out. Today, I feel more confident in trusting my gut and my instinct. I've learned to treat myself with more kindness because when I'm kinder to myself, I'm able to spread it over to other people. My project wouldn't have been possible without the unwavering support of my family, Dhruv and the Kuttans back at home in Pune, India. Thanks to Sloan Leo, Mia Osaki, and my DSI family for pushing me, for trusting me to trust myself. And most importantly, my community members and subject matter experts for your trust in all the stories that you told me and all the love. Thank you.